reflection presentation will highlight the learning, engagement, and accomplishments of my teaching internship. This summer, I had the opportunity to engage in a teaching internship within the Department of Educational Leadership and Dr. Timothy Berry. Dr. Berry and I co-taught Legal Issues and Administration, a course for the Specialist K-12 Administrative Licensure Program within the Department of Educational Leadership. A few key learnings from this experience for me include learning to teach for adult learners, developing rubrics for class assignments, grading and providing authentic feedback on assignments and discussions. One aspect that stood out for me was learning communication techniques and strategies for adult learners. This experience pushed me to learn how to facilitate discussions without much input as the instructor. The engagement component of my internship involved teaching and providing authentic feedback to students. Since as instructors we're about the learning rather than the grade, students were allowed to revise and resubmit assignments. This helped to facilitate their growth and development. Here you'll see a student's comment based on my feedback. She writes, "I noticed the constructive criticism and advice on how to further develop my practicum reflection. I appreciate the feedback. I redid areas to make my points more clear and concise alongside the rubric. Please find attached my new policy issues practicum reflection." Based on my explicit feedback, this student was able to improve her grade from a 25 out of 30 to a 30 out of 30. In the next video clip, you'll hear students' perspectives and takeaways from the course, which in turn highlights some of my accomplishments from the internship.
Okay, my name is Cedric Fuller. This is actually completing my first year here at Mankato State in the Admin Licensure Program. Just speaking on behalf of the Ed Leadership class, Legal Issues class 665, our public school law. Just very insightful. Everything that we learned in class was applicable. We were able to apply it to the work that we do. The knowledge that we got both from Dr. Berry and from Robbie just kind of put things in perspective especially for me, with not knowing how much of this I'm already using or how much I need to know going into a leadership perspective. Everything was, we talked about racially conscious issues. We talked about some of the issues that are sometimes not addressed in a comfortable way, but need to be applied and can also be taken back to why we see some of the legal and public law issues that we see in our public schools. Overall, just a great experience. Even personally for me, having two professors of color was great for me, a great experience for me as well. So that is my feedback.
All right, my name is Mindy Tavernier. I am currently a math coach at Inver Grove Heights School District, and I am in my administration classes right now. I am in the legal issues class, and a couple takeaways that I got from this class, it was actually very powerful for me. One of the biggest things is keeping my mind with the kids, that the kids are what it's all about, and what can I do as a leader to make sure that I'm meeting the needs of all of our students. So one of the first things that hit me on, I think it was our very first or second class, was I walked in and I had this passion around equity, and I knew I wanted to do work around it, I just didn't know what to do. And Robbie Burnett had said something, well, passion, well, what are you going to do with it? It's not just to have passion. So that really sat with me, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything right now. What can I do? So a couple things as I went through learning about law, I also had in my mind frame was, what am I going to do personally? And so with both teachers in the room, we always, with all of our assignments, our CAP assignment, our legal issues paper, our presentation, all of our discussions, it was always emphasized, what are you going to do? How does this meet you personally? And what can you do because you have the opportunity to do something? So I really tried to take all of the cases that I read about, all of the learning about equity and courageous conversations and the research, and just thought, what can I do personally? So I have a lot of goals for myself, a lot of research. I want to keep up with the research around law because I am someone who is very passionate and emotional. And so one thing that stuck out in our last class was the ethically versus law. And so someone who's very emotional about meeting kids' needs, I need to be aware what is legal and what the law says around it too. So before I act on my emotion or my ethics, I also need to make sure that I'm understanding and keeping up with the law. And in doing that, I'm someone who stresses, so one thing I learned was to know who to contact. So know my HR, know my special ed director, know all of the people that has to work around law, so I know who to contact to either just go around and around talking about what I think and making sure it's okay, but also be okay with knowing that I don't know everything and that I can contact people for help. So overall, it was a very, very good class for me. I'm excited to keep going and learning.
Hi, my name is Angie Woods, and I am a current student here at Minnesota Mankato. Some of the takeaways that I have from our class right now that we are having is it is such a refreshing feeling and a comfortableness with having both of my professors be African American. For the simple fact is that I feel like a lost voice in many of the environments that I'm around in education, and to come to this classroom and feel the level of respect given to the voice of things that I have to deal with every day really boosted my morale as far as my place in education, and I can see how we're moving forward and how people in the leadership who are of African American descent can really communicate the needs of our students. Because if you see in a lot of our buildings that we have, that's not happening. We're not having people in those leadership positions that communicate what we need and what we feel like not is only best for our students, but is best for all students. And to see people in those positions that can lead the training on that is really helpful for myself.